hey, listen here, if you keep going down this road, you're eventually going to be able to titty yourself.
Joining us is my man, Kelvin and I.
Obvious that he's an expert at what he does.
When it comes to manifestation, most of the stuff that we read online or watch in YouTube videos is total bullshit. I'm just going to call it like it is. And that's why we don't end up manifesting a lot of the things that we want. So how do you know when your manifestation is on its way to you? Well, that's what we're going to talk about in this video. And there's some things in here you won't hear anywhere else. Hang with me. Let's go. In order to know that your manifestation is on its way, it's going to be first important that we understand a bit about how manifestation works in the first place. Because let's be real, there's much more to it than, lighting candles, singing kumbaya, doing some visualizations, and getting in the frequency of this thing that I want to manifest. So let's dive a bit deeper into some of the science, shall we? So here on my whiteboard, I'm going to start to break this down for you. And everything that I'm about to share with you actually comes from a field of study known as axiology. And through axiology, we can observe that every human being has a hierarchy of values. Things that we value most in life down to the things that we potentially value least. Now, when I'm talking about values, I want to be clear that I'm not talking about social idealisms, things like honesty, integrity, respect, fairness. No, those are social ideals. What I'm talking about in this video is the fact that every day that you and I wake up, there's the things that we value most in our life down to the things that we potentially don't value at all. Let's say that I wake up in the morning and the first thing that I start to think about is my kids' education, my kids', soccer programs, their after-school programs, their health, their well-being. And I spend a lot of my time, energy, and money every day revolving around the children. Well, then we could basically deduce that probably one of my highest values is going to be the kids. Now, if I wake up in the morning though, and the first thing that I start to think about is my business's needs, the projects going on in the business, challenges that the business is facing, and I spend a ton of my time and energy revolving around the business every day, well, then we could deduce that, probably one of my highest values is going to be my business. Now, the reason this is important is because our values will dictate how we utilize our resources. Our primary resources are time, energy, and money. Every single day that we wake up, we have time, energy, and money that we can deploy into our day. And however we invest our time, energy, and money will become our destiny. In other words, however we invest our time, energy, and money is what we end up manifesting. This is why, a lot of times people set goals around maybe, I want to go to the gym more often and get in shape, or I want to start a business or start making more money. But if we don't value those things enough, then what ends up happening is our time, energy, and money gets deployed in direct proportion to our values. As an example, the person on this side here, the majority of their time, energy, and money is going to go back into their business. And then it'll go to the next thing and the next thing and the next before eventually it runs out long before they ever make it to the gym, at least for a consecutive period of time, long enough to begin to see a real result. On this side, this parent here, they're going to invest their time, energy, and money in direct proportion to their values as well. The children are going to get the majority of it. And then the next, and then the next, and then the next, until eventually they run out of time, energy, and money long before they ever invest enough of it to build that business or start to build that wealth that they keep talking about. It doesn't mean that they're not serious about wanting these things. It just means that they don't value them enough to invest their resources for a long enough period of time to begin to see it come to fruition. In other words, when we set goals or we try to manifest things that are in conflict with our values, well, then we run out of resources long before we invest enough of it into manifesting that thing that we say that we want. The law of attraction has the word action in it for a reason. It's not about what you sit around and visualize and, think positively about and get in the frequency of. No. Yeah, those things are all important. But until you start to invest your resources in achieving that thing and attracting that thing for a long enough period of time in order for you to actually bring it to life, well, you won't actually see it. I'll give you a perfect example. In 2020, during the pandemic, I decided that I needed to lose some weight. I got on the scale one morning and I realized that I must have eaten a third grader for breakfast. And I realized then that if that's what I'm experiencing, then I know out of the gate, if that's what I'm seeing on the scale, then I must not have a high value on health and fitness. Why? Because the scale just told me so. It is an objective tool that's giving me objective data, letting me know, hey, listen here, if you keep going down this road, you're eventually going to be able to titty yourself. I know that if I don't have a high value on something, then the first step is that I need to get some sort of accountability. Things that we have a high value on, we're inspired from within to go out and achieve. We don't need accountability. We don't need motivation. We don't need an external force to get us to go do it because we're called from the soul within to go and do it. It's high in our values. When things are low in our values, we need some sort of outside force to be exerted on us to create temporary motivation long enough for us to go do the thing. So the very first thing that I did is I hired a trainer that I could begin to go and see several times a week and start to get on track with, my health and wellness. I met with a trainer, we sat down, we came up with some goals, and I started working with them 3 to 4 days a week. Right away, when I came home from those workouts, I would then begin asking myself, okay, how is working out a benefit to my business? Business happens to be my highest value currently. So I started asking myself, well, how is this a benefit to my business? How is my business benefiting from me going to the gym and getting in shape? The next thing I like to do is work on my leadership. So how am I being a better leader as a result of going to the gym? And the next thing that's important to me is leisure, having some free time to enjoy the fruits of my labor. And so I'd ask myself, how is my leisure benefiting from me going to the gym? Well, it turns out, as an example, I have more energy, I'm more outgoing, I feel a bit better, I have more stamina, I can go longer, I have more mental acuity for my business. There's all sorts of benefits. So every day I would go to the gym and start working out with my trainer, and then I'd come home and start to ask myself, well, what are the benefits of me hitting the gym, and how are my values, the things that I value most in life, benefiting from this activity? As I began to tie those relationships together, eventually going to the gym and getting in shape became something that I truly valued. And this is where we begin to see signs that the thing that we're trying to manifest is on its way. Number one is that we begin to filter the world around us differently. One of the first signs that I saw that, I was going to manifest better shape, better health, a better physique is that when I would start to travel, I would begin to look and see if the hotel had a gym. Now, I know that I'm not going to be meeting with my trainer out there, but on my own accord, I began to see that I was looking to ensure that the hotels that I was going to be staying in had a gym. That means that I'm already beginning to filter the world around me to accommodate this thing that I want to manifest, better health. So right away, I began to see that and realize, oh, this is working. I am beginning to have a high value on getting in shape, as an example. The next thing that we're going to begin to see is that our resources begin to be deployed in direct proportion to the thing that we're manifesting. So as number two, we'll say, that you're going to see that you start to invest more time in that thing that you want to manifest. So one of the things that I noticed is as I began to, plan for my travel to accommodate my workouts, I also noticed that when I would go on some of these trips, I would actually work out more and longer in the gym there than I did with my trainer. My trainer and I only worked out for about 45 to 60 minutes a day. But when I would hit the gym while I was on the road, I would actually end up working out for sometimes as much as 90 minutes, meaning I began to enjoy it and now I was investing more time in it. A third sign that your manifestation is on its way is that you begin to invest more money in it. As an example, if I want to manifest a business or start to save and invest more money to build long-term wealth, we might see that I begin to put more money aside into a savings and investing account. Or that when I'm out at dinner, I might, purposely choose something that's a bit less on the menu so that I can begin to save more of the income that I'm generating. Or that I begin to invest more money into the business that I say that I want to become my financial future, my financial vehicle of the future. So in this case, in terms of me getting in shape, I began to see that I began to invest more money in actually buying the equipment and building out my own home gym. I bought a home and I set aside one room in that home to be the gym and immediately started investing in more equipment. A fourth sign that the thing that you're wanting to manifest is on its way to you is that we become energized when doing the things necessary in order to manifest that thing that we say that we desire. Let me give you some examples that maybe you can relate to. Have you ever said that you wanted to, lose weight, get in shape, and therefore you joined a gym? But after going to the gym a few times and experiencing the muscle pain and soreness, you eventually quit? Or maybe you say that you want to attract a mate, but you find it very difficult to really want to chat with people in online chat rooms, or when you go out with friends, you're afraid to approach someone and strike up a conversation. Or maybe you say that, you want to start a business of your own and take back your financial freedom. And so maybe you join a business opportunity and you're excited for the first 2, 3, 4 months, but eventually you burn out and procrastinate and no longer pursue that thing. Well, when something is low in our values, we want to experience only pleasure pleasure, but no pain. In other words, as soon as we perceive that it's more painful than pleasurable, we eventually begin to quit. When something is high up in our values, we're willing to experience pain and pleasure in equal proportion. As an example of those two individuals that we were talking about earlier, raising children is both painful and pleasurable. But that mom who wakes up in the morning and immediately begins to think about the children, the children's health, the children's education, and these things, she's going to pursue raising those children no matter how painful it gets. That person who wakes up in the morning and immediately begins to think about their business and has a high value on their business is going to agree that creating a business, building a business is both painful and pleasurable. Yet, no matter how painful it gets, they're going to continue to pursue it. So when something is low in our values and we begin to perceive that there's more pain than pleasure, we want to quit. When something is high in our values, we'll experience pain and pleasure in equal proportion in order to make manifest that thing. When we have a high value on manifesting the thing that we want, we will start to feel energized when doing the things necessary. In other words, when I started to go to the gym and actually feel energized about being at the gym and working out and then coming home and being thankful that I had made it to the gym that day. Well, now I'm starting to see that, oh shit, when I go to the gym, I'm actually energized about going to the gym. Now, a year ago when I was standing on that scale looking like I ate a third grader, I was not energized at all about going to the gym. And here I am about a year later, and I am going to the gym more often, I'm spending money on gym equipment, and I'm energized about going to the gym. Well, now I know that that body, that physique, that health, that look that I would like to have, it's on its way to me. When you have a high enough value on the thing that you're wanting to manifest, you will become energized by doing the activity. Whether that's going to the gym, whether that's approaching people when you're out and start striking up a conversation so you can find that perfect mate. Whether that's, actually following through and doing the sales activity that's necessary in order to build your business, or whatever it happens to be specifically related to the thing that you're wanting to manifest. When you begin to see that you're filtering the world around you to ensure that you are doing the activities necessary to make manifest that thing that you say that you desire, that's a great sign. When you start investing more time into it, when you start investing more money into it, and when you start feeling energized about actually doing the activities necessary in order to manifest the thing that you say that you want, congratulations. You can rest assured that the manifestation is on its way to you. So if you came here looking for some hoity-toity, hocus-pocus, fluffy conversation around manifestation, well, you probably realized about halfway through that you were in the wrong place. However, if you like a healthy, hearty conversation backed by science and research about how to ensure that you are manifesting the things that you want out of life, well then, I hope you got value out of this video. And if you're somebody who is committed to success in both life and business, then make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell notification so you get notified every week when I drop more content like this. And in case we've never met before, my name is Cal Kanai. I'm an entrepreneur that got started a few short years ago while working in a coffee shop for minimum wage. And I've gone on now to build multiple 7- and 8-figure businesses. My primary business doing over $90 million in sales so far. And I say that so that you know that everything I share on my channel comes from real world applied knowledge of the things that I've learned and done that have helped me create those results and that transformation. And I share them here in hopes that they help you create similar results as well. And watch the next video in the lineup where I'm going to talk to you about more manifestation secrets. I'll see you there.